As we stand at the doorway of a new year, 2026 is not just another number on the calendar. It is a gift. It is a fresh opportunity. It is a divine invitation to reset our hearts, reorder our priorities, and realign our lives. The greatest decision you can make this year is not about money, career, or success. It is about who comes first in your life. Putting God first is not a slogan. It is a way of living. When God is first, everything else finds its proper place. Many people want God to bless their plans, but true faith begins when we surrender our plans to God. Education teaches us how to make a living, but faith teaches us how to live. Knowledge fills the mind, but God fills the soul. The beginning of the year matters because beginnings shape direction. What you place first will guide what follows. If you begin the year with God at the center, you build on a foundation that cannot be shaken. Life will still bring storms, but your heart will be anchored. Circumstances may change, but truth remains constant. Putting God first does not mean you will never struggle. It means you will never struggle alone. Faith does not remove problems, but it gives purpose in the middle of them. When you put God first, your decisions change, your words change, your response to pain changes. Instead of fear leading you, faith begins to guide you. Education shows us the value of discipline. Faith shows us the power of obedience. Discipline can shape habits, but obedience shapes the heart. When you obey God, even when you do not fully understand, you step into wisdom greater than your own. Trust is not built in comfort. Trust is built when you choose God, even when the path is unclear. In 2026, many voices will compete for your attention. The world will tell you to hurry, to worry, to compare, and to chase things that do not last. Putting God first means learning to be still. It means listening before reacting. It means choosing eternal values over temporary applause. What you give your attention to will shape who you become. When God is first, prayer becomes your first response, not your last option. Gratitude replaces complaining. Hope rises where fear once lived. This is not emotional thinking. This is spiritual education. Faith trains the mind to think beyond the moment and the heart to trust beyond the visible. A life centered on God becomes a light to others. People may not read sacred books, but they read lives every day. When your life reflects peace in chaos, kindness in conflict, and strength in weakness, you teach without speaking. Your consistency becomes your testimony. A right beginning determines a strong ending. These words may sound simple, but their meaning carries the power to transform your life completely. Life is full of beginnings and endings, but what sets apart those who succeed from those who struggle is not luck, talent, or circumstance. It is the foundation on which they start. Every year, every day, every hour, every decision is a beginning. How you begin determines how you walk, how you respond, and ultimately how you finish. If you desire a life of significance, peace, and purpose, you must understand that beginnings matter more than the path you think you must take. The first step is not merely a physical movement. It is a spiritual, emotional, and mental choice. A right beginning is not about perfection. It is about direction. You may not know the full journey ahead, but if the first step is taken in alignment with truth and faith, the journey itself will guide you toward fulfillment. Consider a tree planted in fertile soil. Its roots may be small at first, but because they are anchored in the right place, the tree grows strong, withstanding storms and bearing fruit. The same principle applies to life. Begin with God at the center. Begin with integrity, prayer, and obedience. Begin with gratitude and humility. And your life will bear fruit even when challenges arise. Many people make the mistake of starting with their desires, their ambitions, or the expectations of others. They focus on what seems attractive, convenient, or promising. But the path is unstable because the foundation is not firm. Decisions made from haste, fear, or selfishness often lead to regret, while decisions rooted in faith and wisdom create opportunities that multiply beyond imagination. A right beginning is not measured by how spectacular it appears to others, but by the alignment of your heart with eternal truth. God honors those who seek Him first. And the right beginning starts with a surrender of your plans, your fears, and your control. To begin rightly, you must cultivate awareness. Life moves fast, and without reflection, we drift into habits, routines, and distractions that shape our endings without our consent. Begin by pausing, by evaluating your motives, by asking, am I starting this day, this project, this relationship in the right place? Awareness brings clarity, and clarity directs action. It is not enough to simply start. How you start matters profoundly. Education teaches that preparation is critical. Before a project, exam, or goal, preparation ensures success. Spiritual wisdom teaches the same. Preparation begins with the heart. Pray before you act. Align your decisions with truth. Seek guidance from the one who knows the beginning and the end. This may feel slow, unnecessary, or even uncomfortable in a fast-paced world, but patience in the beginning produces strength in the end. People often rush to results, to recognition, to immediate success. They desire the end without respecting the beginning. Yet life's strongest structures are built gradually, brick by brick, with care, intention, and attention to detail. Begin your year, your month, your day, your task with care. Start with God, start with gratitude, start with purpose, and the outcome will honor your effort and your faith. A right beginning also requires courage. Starting rightly often means starting differently. It may require walking away from influences, habits, or patterns that feel comfortable but are not life-giving. It may demand risk, humility, and faith in the unseen. The strongest beginnings are rarely easy. They are intentional, disciplined, and sometimes lonely. But courage in the beginning ensures confidence in the ending. Many of the great stories of faith, success, and transformation began with a simple act of obedience, a single choice to start rightly despite uncertainty. Joseph began in a prison and ended on a throne because he began faithfully wherever he was. Moses began by stepping into fear and doubt and led a nation because he began aligned with God's call. The right beginning is not determined by external circumstances, but by internal alignment. You may feel unqualified, unprepared, or weak, but what matters is the intention of your heart and the direction of your first step. Begin where you are, with what you have, and who you are willing to become. Another aspect of a right beginning is focus. Distractions in the early stages of life, work, or relationships can derail even the best plans. Focus is the discipline to keep the foundation strong while the details unfold. Focus is the commitment to prioritize what truly matters above what seems urgent or tempting. A right beginning focuses on God, on integrity, on love, and on purpose. It resists the pressure to compromise, to take shortcuts, or to chase fleeting rewards. Every ending you desire starts with a foundation laid today. You cannot build a lasting life by neglecting the beginning. The choices you make at the start echo throughout the journey. Every thought, every word, every action is a seed planted. Begin with care, for what you sow first will grow, often in ways you cannot yet see. Lastly, a right beginning requires hope. Hope is the engine that propels action. It is the expectation that your effort, guided by truth and faith, will produce fruit. Hope keeps you moving when the path is unclear. Hope allows you to start over if you stumble. Hope reminds you that beginnings are not permanent, but endings are shaped by the choices you make in each new beginning. As you enter this year, remember that the strongest life, the most peaceful heart, and the most meaningful success comes from a beginning that is intentional, courageous, focused, and surrendered to God. Your ending is not written by chance, but by choice. Choose rightly at the start, and the end will honor your faith. Do not be afraid to start small, to start slowly, to start humbly. The power of a right beginning lies not in the speed or spectacle, but in the alignment of your heart with truth. Begin with God. Begin with purpose. Begin with hope. The first step may feel ordinary, but it has the potential to transform your life forever. Remember, a right beginning determines a strong ending. And the moment you start rightly is the moment your life begins to roar. Reflect the future God has intended for you. Putting God first does not mean waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect version of yourself. Many people misunderstand what it means to put God first. They think it requires flawless devotion, uninterrupted faith, or a life without mistakes. Yet true faith is never about perfection. It is about priority. When God is first, He sets the direction for your life, guides your decisions, and shapes your heart even when your circumstances are far from perfect. Life will never be flawless. There will always be setbacks, mistakes, doubts, and moments when you feel unworthy. Yet these imperfections do not disqualify you from beginning again, seeking God, or putting Him first. What matters is not how perfect your start is, but whether your focus is on Him. Priorities determine outcomes. Many people chase perfection and neglect priority, spending their energy on things that appear important but ultimately have little eternal value. They wait to pray, to serve, or to obey because they feel unready, flawed, or incapable. This is a misunderstanding. God's grace meets us in our weakness, and He works through our obedience, not our flawless performance. Priorities guide decisions, influence relationships, and shape your character. When you put God first, your daily choices reflect what matters most. You prioritize prayer over worry, integrity over compromise, service over selfishness, love over pride, and faith over fear. Asa small acts repeated consistently create a life aligned with purpose and meaning. Putting God first is an active choice, not a passive hope. It is choosing His will over your own, His timing over your impatience, and His wisdom over your understanding. You do not need to have all the answers, and you do not need to have everything figured out. What you need is willingness, a heart that says, God, you are first. Guide me, teach me, lead me. Perfection paralyzes. Priority propels. Many hesitate to begin, thinking they must be flawless or ready. They compare themselves to others or measure their faith against impossible standards. This comparison steals the joy of progress and the power of obedience. Putting God first requires courage, humility, and a willingness to start where you are. Your imperfections are not obstacles, but opportunities for God's power to work. Consider the life of a servant who began small, made mistakes, and faced failures. The one who puts God first learns from missteps, adjusts priorities, and moves forward with faith. Each day offers a choice to align actions with values. Every decision is an opportunity to reaffirm priority over perfection. A right priority brings peace, even when results are delayed or outcomes are unexpected. When you place God at the center, your heart finds contentment, not in achievement, applause, or approval, but in obedience. This does not mean life becomes easy. It means life becomes purposeful. Priorities, not perfection, determine resilience. A person striving for perfection can become discouraged when they fail. A person focused on priorities continues because their motivation is anchored in truth, not in achievement. Your strength does not come from flawless execution, but from consistent alignment with God's purpose. Life is a journey of choices. Every day, every hour, every action is an opportunity to reaffirm what comes first. Will you chase recognition, possessions, or status? Or will you choose God's guidance, love, and purpose as your foundation? Choosing priorities over perfection shifts the heart from fear to faith. It allows you to begin again, even when the past is messy, the present is uncertain, and the future seems unclear. Every moment is a fresh opportunity to put God first, to set your intentions rightly, and to act according to eternal values. Prioritizing God shapes the way you handle challenges. When difficulties arise, the person focused on perfection may be consumed by guilt or self-doubt. The person focused on priority turns to God for guidance, strength, and wisdom. Faith thrives when priorities are clear, even in imperfection. Putting God first also transforms relationships. When God is the highest priority, love, forgiveness, and service flow naturally. You begin to see others not as obstacles or threats, but as people to be treated with grace, patience, and respect. Your interactions reflect eternal values rather than fleeting emotions or selfish desires. Engagement becomes intentional. Energy is directed toward what truly matters. Decisions are guided by principle rather than impulse. In this way, your life becomes a reflection of your faith, not your fear, of priorities, not perfection. Remember, God is not calling you to flawless devotion. He is calling you to faithful alignment, a life surrendered, a heart willing to seek Him first, and choices made according to His guidance carry far more eternal significance than any fleeting attempt at human perfection. Perfection can lead to procrastination, self-criticism, and frustration. Priorities lead to progress, growth, and purpose. Every step, even imperfect, taken in faith, is a step toward the life God intends for you. As you enter 2026, do not wait to feel ready or flawless. Begin now. Put God first in your thoughts, your actions, your plans, and your heart. Let priorities shape your decisions. Let obedience shape your life. Let faith guide your steps. Your ending will not be measured by perfection, but by faithfulness. And when God is first, even imperfect beginnings lead to extraordinary endings. Begin today with clarity, courage, and commitment, knowing that putting God first transforms your journey, empowers your choices, and aligns your life with eternal purpose. In the end, it is not the flawless who leave a mark, but those who consistently put God first, chose priorities over perfection, and allowed His guidance to shape every aspect of life.